One of the most common questions I usually get almost every day is about why every time I start to date somebody, something always happens. It's either we end up breaking up or the person ended up ghosting me. The reason behind that is because you guys keep making some of the most common mistakes when it comes to dating. Yes, I understand that you want your next relationship to be your last relationship, but you cannot be the only one thinking that within the dating process. You need to make sure that the person that you are dating want the exact same thing, which is why I felt the need to talk about 4 dating mistakes you should stop making. 4 dating mistakes you should stop making. What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to Peace of Happiness 101. For those of you who've been part of this community from the get-go, guys, we really appreciate everything that you do to support the channel. And if you are new around, on this channel we give relationship advice. If this is something that you're into, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because we've got a lot to talk about. The first one is the moving too fast. A lot of people do not understand the process of dating. A lot of people think when it comes to dating, it has to happen from today to tomorrow. And if we are going to be honest with each other, dating takes time. Dating takes a lot of time, especially if you really want something good to come out of that dating process. There's no way for you to be moving in with somebody that you've only known 3 months. You don't know the person's financials. You don't know what the person is going to do to you when you're in the house with them and they are mad at you. You don't know anything like that. You don't know if the person's abusive. You don't know what's going to happen when the person starts to get bored with the relationship. But then again, you are wondering why every time you get in a relationship, something drastic always happens. The main reason for that is because a lot of you guys do not trust the process. You need to take time to get to know each other. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking about the age thing, and some of you probably want kids, some of you probably want marriage, some of you are probably getting stressed out by family members and all that crazy stuff. But there's one thing I always want you to remember. Anytime you get in a relationship, that relationship is going to be between you and the person that you're with. Nobody else. Do not care about what society is saying when it comes to you dating or finding somebody to spend the rest of your life with. There should be no reason behind you rushing into a relationship knowing it's gonna need time for you to get to know each other. And when that dating process didn't amount to nothing, you're gonna start to say things like, maybe something is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with you. Take time to get to know each other before doing anything that you're probably gonna regret for the rest of your life. So just so we're clear, you need to take time to get to know the person, because without that, there's a good possibility that you're probably gonna find yourself dating in the next 3 to 4 months. For number 2 is ignoring the red flags. For the amount of times that I've heard people talking about things that they realize are not good with somebody, but they still go with the idea of dating the person. If you're gonna be dating somebody, if you've already been in past relationships, if you've ever dealt with people in ways that you cannot say that you felt appreciated, not paying attention to the red flags within the dating process is you hurting yourself from knowing what you already know about. I don't know why people get so blinded by physical appearance or probably financial situations, or I don't know, maybe the game that they're laying on you. Whatever the reason is, you should never ignore the red flags. This is something that I've talked about so many times. You should not ignore the red flags. If you dated a player before, at some point I'm going to want to believe that you know some of the tricks that a player is going to use on you in order for them to get you, right? If you dated a womanizer before, I'm going to believe that you know some of the method a womanizer is going to use to get you. If you dated a narcissist before, I'm going to believe that you know some of the ways that a narcissist is going to stimulate you becoming his slave throughout the entire relationship. So if you already seen the red flags, if you are familiar with the red flags, why would you ignore the red flags, knowing how important it is to pay attention to red flags? But why would you ever want to ignore the red flags? There should be no reason for you to ever ignore the red flags. Whatever the person is telling you, if the red flags are telling you something else, it's time for you to not even waste your time into going through this dating process, into trying to start a relationship with that person, because at some point you're going to end up hurting yourself. This is the reality check to it. No other way around it. It's best for you to stop dating the person, because you already know by getting in a relationship with that person is going to be another waste of time. So this is something you should definitely think about. The third mistake that you guys usually make is when you do not listen to nobody. You don't listen to advice. Even from this channel, you do not listen to advice. The problem with that is every time you start to date somebody, this is something that's completely new, something that's probably going to keep you happy, something that you might not be able to see it for what it is. But the people that are watching might be able to tell you that this person is not somebody you should trust. One of the main reasons why they are able to do that is because they are not emotionally invested as you are. And since they are not in your position, they have a better view of what's really happening inside of that dating process. And that's why if you have a good friend, a good family member, a counselor, somebody that you talk to on a regular, it's best to let the person know what's going on with the relationship. Sometimes you might not want to hear the truth, but sometimes a lot of you guys are too blinded to understand that the relationship you're trying to get yourself into is not going to work out. And sometimes some of your good friends might actually see it from the get-go. Sometimes from them meeting the person, they already feel the energy is bad. Sometimes from them meeting the person, they already see that the person is full of games. But the only person who won't be able to see it is you, because in your mind, you think that you have found the one. And by you finding the one, your job is to protect it. Your job is to be with that person because the person is speaking all the languages that you want to hear. And that's the problem with some of you. You do not want to listen to what people are telling you. And of course, there's a huge difference between a jealous friend and somebody who just wants something good for you. You have to know what type of friends you should go to when it comes to those remarks. It is very important for you to open to advice because not everything that you see is exactly what it is. And this is something you should definitely think about. And for number 4, the one mistake that you guys need to stop making is by acting out of desperation. Anytime that happens, anytime you decide to act this way, 3 things usually happen. The first one, you might actually push the person away by not knowing that you're pushing the person away. The person might probably think that something is wrong with you, because if you're acting out of desperation, it's either you're trying to get married real quick or you're trying to have a kid or something else is wrong with you. From that idea alone, a lot of people might be skeptical into pursuing the relationship with you, and this is something that you definitely need to think about. The second one is by people realizing that you're desperate, they choose to take advantage of you. From that point, the person do not even want to be with you. They just want to take advantage over the fact that they realize that you need them more than they need you. So this is another reason for you to understand how you present yourself within the dating process that could cause you not to even have a relationship from the get-go, because people were already willing to take advantage of you from the first time you expose yourself to them. The third thing is that you might be so available to the person to the point of you not realizing that the person is not available to you. And that happens far too often. A lot of folks will get in a relationship trying to give the 100, and while they're giving the 100 or the 200, they're not realizing that the person they're trying to give that 200 to is not even willing to give 10%. And that's a problem. But the reason for that is because you keep making yourself too available. You keep allowing the person to get in your space just because you are too available. They're going to take advantage of you. They're probably going to walk away, and you might not even see that the entire time you've been the one doing the work without realizing it because you were too busy trying to get in a relationship. But then you're wondering why you haven't got in a relationship. That's why. That's basically one of the main reasons. The mistakes that you keep making are some of the reasons why you're not able to find a good person. And I know that does not apply to everybody. And I know you're probably not going to make all 4 of those mistakes all at once, but each one of those mistakes is as critical as the next one. And to recap the entire video, the first mistake is to stop rushing into relationships. The second mistake is to stop ignoring the red flags. The third one is to have an open mind to advice coming from a good friend or a good family member. And the final one is to stop acting out of desperation. On that note, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this video was as informative from me to you. If I've missed something in the process, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Peace.